Have you ever felt like time is slipping away from you? Like no matter how hard you try, there's just never enough time to get everything done. What if I told you that even the most successful people in the world have faced this same struggle? Today, I'm going to share the story of a young student who, just like you, felt overwhelmed by the ticking clock, staying up late studying, yet never feeling caught up. But one day, in his moment of despair, he stumbled upon a secret that would change his life forever. This secret wasn't some new study method or a magical shortcut, it was a smarter, more effective way of using time. This story won't just change the way you approach studying, it'll change the way you live your life. Are you ready to hear it? So let's dive into the story of Akira, and the profound lesson he learned from a wise monk, one that goes far beyond academics. Let this story guide you toward finding the key to never feeling lost in the rush of time again. The Timekeeper's Secret, a journey beyond the classroom. In a quiet village surrounded by mountains and thick forests, there lived a young student named Akira. Known for his curiosity and determination, he spent his days buried in books, striving to excel in his studies. Yet, no matter how hard he tried, something always seemed off. He was a diligent worker, but his results were inconsistent. Sometimes he felt like he was winning. Other times he felt defeated, like he was chasing a goal he could never quite reach. Akira's greatest struggle wasn't the content of his studies, it was time. Every night, he would stay up late, trying to catch up on homework and reading, only to wake up feeling exhausted. The pressure of deadlines, exams, and the endless list of tasks seemed to pile up, creating a weight that he couldn't shake. Despite his best efforts, he felt as though time was slipping through his fingers, leaving him with a sense of frustration and helplessness. But everything changed one fateful day, when Akira took a walk through the woods to clear his mind. The sun was just beginning to set, casting a golden glow over the forest. Birds chirped in the distance, and the rustling of leaves in the wind created a soothing melody. As he wandered deeper into the forest, Akira stumbled upon an ancient temple, its weathered stone walls hidden by ivy and moss. Intrigued by the sight, he approached the entrance. The air around the temple seemed thick with history, as if it held the secrets of ages past. As he stood at the entrance, a voice interrupted his thoughts. "Welcome, young traveler." Turning around, Akira saw an elderly monk standing behind him. His robes were simple, but his eyes held the wisdom of 1,000 lifetimes. With a gentle smile, the monk invited him inside, where the scent of incense and ancient scrolls filled the air. "I have been waiting for you," the monk said, his voice calm and soothing. "You look troubled. What brings you here, my friend?" Akira hesitated for a moment, then spoke honestly. "I've been struggling, Master. I work hard every day, but no matter how much I try, I can't seem to manage my time properly. I study late into the night, only to wake up exhausted and unmotivated. I feel like I'm failing, even though I give my best effort. Can you help me?" The monk listened carefully, nodding as if he understood Akira's frustration. After a long pause, he spoke again. "Ah, my young friend, you have been chasing the wrong path. The key to success in life, especially in your studies, is not found in working harder, but in working smarter. Let me share a story with you. The tale of the master and his student." The monk settled into a seat and began his story. "Once, there was a wise and renowned master who had many students, all of whom admired his intellect. Yet among them, one student stood out. This student was not the brightest, nor the most gifted, but he had a quality that set him apart: he valued time more than anything else." The monk's eyes twinkled as he continued. This student was incredibly disciplined. He rose early each morning, planned his day carefully, and never wasted a moment. He would spend his hours studying, But he also knew when to rest and recharge. His focus was unwavering. And his determination was unmatched. Over time, his classmates began to notice his success. He always had the answers. Always finished his assignments early. And always excelled in every subject. One day, a curious group of students approached the master and asked him, "Master, what is it that makes this student so successful? What is his secret?" The master smiled and replied, "He understands the value of time. While others rush through life, chasing after fleeting moments, he has learned to embrace each moment with intention. He knows that time is the one thing we cannot get back. It is not about how much time you have, but what you do with it that matters." The students were puzzled. "But master, don't we all have the same amount of time?" they asked. The master nodded. "Indeed. You all have 24 hours in a day. But how you use those hours is what will shape your future. Those who waste time will find themselves constantly chasing after it, while those who value it will find that success comes effortlessly." The monk's wisdom. Akira listened intently, his mind racing with the master's words. He had always thought that success came from working harder, from pushing himself to the limit. But now, he began to see a new perspective. The monk, sensing his thoughts, continued, "Time, young one, is not a limitless resource. Every moment that passes is one you will never get back. If you truly wish to succeed in your studies, and in life, you must learn to use your time wisely. It is not about how long you study, but how effectively you study." Akira felt a sense of clarity wash over him. The monk's words were like a light bulb turning on in his mind. He understood that working harder was not the answer, it was about finding balance. Being intentional with his time. And not allowing distractions to steal precious moments. The transformation. Over the next few weeks, Akira began to implement the monk's advice. First, he created a daily schedule, breaking his time into blocks for studying, rest, and personal activities. He no longer stayed up late trying to cram information into his tired mind. Instead, he allocated time for focused study sessions and made sure to take regular breaks to refresh his mind. He also learned to prioritize. No longer did he waste hours on tasks that weren't important. Instead, he focused on the assignments that truly mattered and worked on them with dedication and clarity. Akira also began to incorporate physical exercise into his routine, knowing that a healthy body was essential for a sharp mind. But perhaps the most important lesson he learned was the importance of rest. Akira realized that working non-stop was counterproductive. He made time for relaxation and leisure, allowing his mind to recharge and his creativity to flow freely. As the months passed, Akira's grades began to improve. But more than that, he felt a sense of calm and control in his life that he had never experienced before. He was no longer overwhelmed by the constant pressure of deadlines and assignments. Instead, he had learned to navigate his studies with purpose and ease. Akira's legacy, time well spent. Years later, Akira graduated with honors and became a respected scholar. He never forgot the lessons he had learned from the wise monk. Time, he had come to realize, was the most valuable resource a person could possess. It was not something to be taken for granted, but something to be cherished and used wisely. In his career and personal life, Akira continued to apply the principles of time management that had served him so well during his studies. He knew that success was not about working harder, but about working smarter. And he made it his mission to pass on this wisdom to others. As Akira's story spread, more and more students sought his advice. They, too, were struggling to balance the demands of their studies with the realities of life. Akira, with his calm demeanor and thoughtful guidance, helped them realize that the key to success lay in the choices they made with their time. He encouraged them to take control of their days, to embrace each moment, and to find joy in the journey of learning. The test of time, Akira's challenge. As the years passed, Akira's wisdom and understanding of time management became more than just a personal tool, it became the foundation of his success. He had gone from a struggling student, overwhelmed by the demands of his studies, to a respected scholar whose advice was sought by many. Yet, despite his newfound calm and clarity, life had a way of testing him. One day, Akira was invited to speak at a prestigious university, where students and professors alike were eager to hear his thoughts on balancing academics, personal life, and career. It was a tremendous opportunity, a chance to influence the next generation of scholars. However, there was a catch. The night before his lecture, Akira received an urgent email from a prestigious journal asking him to submit an article by the morning. The topic was one he was passionate about, but the deadline was tight. To make matters worse, he had just returned from a long day of meetings and his mind was exhausted. At first, the old familiar feeling of pressure crept in. His first instinct was to work late into the night, pushing himself to meet the journal's deadline. But then, as the minutes ticked by, Akira stopped. He took a deep breath and reminded himself of the lessons he had learned long ago, the very lessons he now shared with others. Time was his most valuable resource, and he would use it wisely, not in a panic-fueled rush. He decided to prioritize. Instead of sacrificing his sleep and well-being, he divided his time carefully. He would complete the most critical sections of the article, then get a good night's sleep so that he could give his lecture the next day with energy and focus. He submitted the article in the morning, and while it wasn't his absolute best work, it was done, on time, and without the exhaustion that came from burning the midnight oil. The lecture that afternoon was a success, and the students in the audience were inspired by his message. This experience was a reminder for Akira that even in the face of pressure, it was possible to use time wisely and make choices that aligned with his values. Success, he realized, wasn't just about achieving goals, it was about maintaining balance and peace in the process. The ripple effect, passing the wisdom forward. In the years that followed, Akira's story spread far beyond the classroom. His journey became a beacon of hope for many students who struggled with the same challenges he once faced. Akira began to hold workshops, write books, and speak at conferences about the importance of time management. But his message was always the same: success is not about the amount of time you have, but how you use it. One of his most cherished projects was working with young students who were just beginning their academic journeys. He often visited local schools, offering guidance on how to study effectively, balance extracurricular activities, and take care of their mental and physical health. During one such visit, he met a young student named May, who reminded him of his younger self, eager, bright, but overwhelmed by the demands of school. May had always prided herself on being the hardest worker in her class. She studied late, took on every project, and never said no to additional responsibilities. But like Akira, she found herself tired and anxious, with little time for herself or for the things she loved. Akira shared his story with May and, in turn, offered her the same wisdom that had transformed his life. "May," he said, "being busy isn't the same as being productive. It's easy to confuse hard work with smart work. But the difference lies in how you manage your time. It's not about working non-stop, it's about knowing when to work and when to rest, when to push forward and when to step back and recharge." Over time, May learned to embrace these principles. She learned to prioritize her tasks, create a balanced routine, and most importantly, to be kinder to herself. Instead of feeling guilty for taking breaks, she understood that rest was an essential part of being productive. As May applied these lessons, her grades improved. But more importantly, her stress levels decreased, and she found joy in learning once again. May's transformation was proof that Akira's message had truly taken root. She was the first of many students he would help, and seeing the positive impact of his teachings gave him a deep sense of fulfillment. It was as though the wisdom of the monk passed on through Akira. had now reached another generation. In his heart, Akira knew that this was his true legacy, not the accolades, not the degrees, but the ripple effect of teaching others how to value their time and live with purpose. Conclusion: the eternal cycle of learning. Akira's journey had come full circle. From a student overwhelmed by the demands of time, to a scholar who had learned the true meaning of balance. He had found not only success, but peace. His work, whether in the classroom, in books, or through personal connections, was a testament to the timeless truth: how you use your time defines your life. As Akira sat by the same temple where his journey began, he reflected on the monk's words. Time was the one thing in life that no one could control. Yet it was the one thing that shaped everything. Whether we were students, teachers, or scholars, whether we were just starting our journey or nearing the end, it was always the choices we made about how we spent our time that mattered most. With a final, contented breath, Akira smiled. The cycle of learning was eternal. And as long as he had time, he would continue to teach, to share, and to help others find their own path to balance and success. Additional lessons to live by. As Akira's teaching spread, he compiled a list of timeless lessons that anyone, regardless of age or profession, could apply to their lives. Plan with purpose. Every day begins with intention. Start by identifying your most important tasks and focus on completing them first. Embrace the power of rest. You are not a machine. Give yourself time to recharge. Your mind and body need it. Learn to say no. You don't need to accept every responsibility or attend every event. Protect your time by setting healthy boundaries. Simplify your schedule. Eliminate unnecessary distractions and focus on what truly moves you toward your goals. Celebrate small wins. Success is a journey, not a destination. Celebrate progress, no matter how small, and use it to fuel your next step. Be present in every moment. Be fully present. When studying, give your full attention to the task at hand. When relaxing, truly enjoy the rest. By embracing these principles, Akira's legacy lived on in the countless individuals who, like him, learned to value time and live with purpose.